For much of her life Minnie Driver has longed for marriage, a family and a home. But at 52, finally in a loving relationship, and with a 13-year-old son by a previous grief fling, the star of Good Will Hunting has come to the realization that the marriage thing, as she calls it, probably won't happen for her. "I've really always wanted to be married," she admits. "I thought it meant you were accepted or acceptable. It's taken a long time to unpick that." Her partner, screenwriter Addison Adia, at 42 is 10 years younger, and does not want to tie the knot. Now, she says, she has come to terms with that. "What I really want is to be with this man that I love now, forever," she says. Driver's romantic longings are woven into her critically acclaimed new memoir, Managing Expectations, which was published this week. The actress, who grew up in England and Barbados, and had doomed relationships with Harrison Ford, Josh Brolin and the late Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins, reveals she has been shaped by those she has loved and lost. "My parents separated when I was 6, but at the age of 12 I discovered that they had never been married, and that throughout their relationship my father was married to somebody else and had another family," she says. She was shaken again years later when, while dating her Good Will Hunting co-star Matt Damon, she watched a television interview in which he revealed that he was dumping her. "It was a sweet love affair but had a combustible ending," she says. Like many actors, Driver channels her personal traumas into her work, as she did for last year's Amazon Prime series Modern Love. "Having loved and lost in my life was all the research that I needed," she says. She has also experienced Hollywood's warped view of her desirability, when Good Will Hunting producers, led by sex assault offender Harvey Weinstein, wanted her off the movie. "Nobody would want to F her," Weinstein warned the casting director, demanding she be fired, she told The Times. "It was devastating. To be told at 26 that you're not sexy." Damon, his co-star and co-writer Ben Affleck, and director Gus Van Sant fought very hard for me to play the troll, and I am grateful to them to this day, she says. Yet years later, she's still being judged on her looks. "That is something that has not changed," she laments. "There are still just times when people are like, she's too old, or she's too tall." But Driver is grateful that she did not resort to cosmetic surgery in the way so many Hollywood stars have done when their appearance is criticized. "I thank God I didn't do a ton of stuff that I could have then gone and done. It could have been way more damaging than it was." Driver first found fame in 1995 movie Circle of Friends, and earned an Oscar nomination 2 years later for Good Will Hunting, but after becoming a single mother to son Henry in 2008 she mostly took roles that allowed her to stay close to her Los Angeles home, working steadily on smaller movies and TV series. Despite her many successes, Driver confesses that she still has an actor's insecurities, and only last week sat at home thinking, "Oh my God, I'm never going to work again," liberally salting her speech with expletives, she says. "It's like being haunted by a ghost that you have chosen to live with, and it doesn't ever go away. You always think your last job was your last job. But that's true of actors as a breed," she admits. "For the most part we are fragile." Her mother, model and designer Gaynor Churchward, passed away last year while Driver was writing her memoir. "I was totally derailed," she says. "I couldn't write about anything except her dying for a couple of months. Devastated and distraught, Driver says she thought to herself, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to finish this book because I'm stuck in this eddy of sadness and grief." Yet she learned to embrace the pain, realizing, grief is just another expression of love. Driver had earned an unfair reputation for being difficult in Hollywood simply because she stood up for herself, and against bullies and sexual harassment, years before the #MeToo movement. She writes about walking out of an audition for a chocolate commercial in disgust, as the only woman in a room of 20 men, after being asked by the director to fake an orgasm twice. "I don't think I would be put in that position today," she says. Driver was thrilled to become pregnant at the age of 37, having been told that a bend in her uterus and her age made conception unlikely. "A geriatric, toilet-shaped uterus had made my baby," she rejoices. Henry's father was Timothy Lee, a writer on television series The Riches, in which he co-starred with Eddie Izzard. Motherhood brought her fresh focus, all that churning and yearning and seeking for something externally to make me feel better? That's done. So now it's, do your own work. But she admits struggling with a double-edged sword of fame. Becoming famous was like everyone else had taken hallucinogenic drugs, and I was the giant talking mushroom in their trip, she says. She watched the breakup of her romance with Matt Damon played out unrecognizably in magazines and on TV, horrified to be cast by the media as a wronged woman, a role that I would never play if they were paying me. When Damon later criticized the #MeToo movement as a culture of outrage and injury, Driver lashed out at her ex as systematically part of the problem. Yet when she bumped into him on the beach last summer with his wife and children, they had a pleasant middle-aged conversation about the weather and stuff, which she found reassuring. Driver keeps her loved ones close, and talks to her late mother. "I still say goodnight to her," she says. "I look at the stars and I think about her and I really try to feel good about it, as opposed to sad about it." Beside her bed she keeps a drawer filled with loving notes penned by her son at the age of 7. "The best part of being new parents separated was just 6. A mom is seeing this baby grow into a kind, funny, thoughtful human, and being present for every step of that evolution," she says. Her first book, winning rave reviews, won't be her last. "I definitely will write more," she says. "I'd really love to write a novel." But despite her 3 decades in Hollywood, Driver scorns the idea of celebrity as this absolute pinnacle of success. "It's specious and bogus. You have to work really hard to maintain anything in life." She still meets with rejection, saying, "You take the hits, and you appreciate the stuff that comes your way. And then you fight for other stuff." And she continues trying to figure out her life. "I still long for things and wonder, am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing?" Yet she welcomes the challenges life throws at her. "Life isn't straightforward," she says. "The stuff that is ungainly, and difficult, and misfires is where the interesting stuff grows out of." Managing Expectations by Minnie Driver, Bonnier Books, £20, is out now. To order your copy for £18 with free UK PNP, visit Express Bookshop.com or call the Express Bookshop on 020-3176-3832.